Ready? Yeah. Okay, good afternoon everybody and welcome to this media conference with Jack Grealish. As was the case yesterday, we'll ensure to take a fair spread of questions from in the room here and also those joining us on Zoom. We'll get underway with Kaveh Solokol from Sky Sports News.
Jack, first of all, you played in both the warm-up games, you played very well. There's lots of competition for places. Do you feel like you've done enough to get into the starting 11 for the game against Croatia?
I don't really think it's a matter of doing enough. I think you only have to look at the players in my position. Most of them have just come back from playing in the Champions League final and the Europa League final, whereas I've been injured for a while. So the competition's there, but I think it's nice competition to have. Something that we all know. And I don't really think it's a matter of have I done enough to start. I'll be ready when called upon.
There's obviously a lot of hype and a lot of interest around you. A lot of people think that you could be one of the big stars of this tournament. People have even compared you to Paul Gascoigne. I was just wondering, how do you deal with that pressure and that level of expectation?
No, I'll just take it in my stride. I think stuff like that. You've just got to see as a good thing. Sorry, there's a fly that keeps. I got to take it as a positive and like I said, take it in my stride. If I'm getting compared to people like that, it means that I'm doing something right. I like to see myself as a person that don't really like rise to pressure. I think pressure's a good thing, and stuff like that. Like I said, I do take it in my stride.
Watching you play, sometimes it feels like you're almost a marked man on the pitch. Does it ever feel like you're playing with a target on your back?
No, not really. I got a few kicks last week in the two games. But like I says, after them games, if I'm doing something to help the team, I'll do that. I think you look around our team, and you see the set piece takers here that we've got, especially Trips. Obviously, it was unfortunate that Trent went home, but there's still so many people, that have just got unbelievable, set piece ability here. So if I'm doing, getting fouled or whatever, I'll take the hits for the team. That don't really bother me.
And there's a perception that you're a flair player, and obviously at this level Gareth Southgate needs players who work extremely hard when England don't have the ball. Do you think that's a part of your game that's unappreciated, or is it something that you need to work on more?
I think I can get better at it. I think I spoke to the staff here. When I come here, I seem to run more in games than I do at Villa. I'm not sure why that is, but I still think it's something that I can improve on. And I speak to the manager about these type of things. I've always said when I first come into the camp, that's one thing that I says. I sat down with the manager for about an hour or so and asked him what I can improve on to get into his side, and I went away and worked on that. I still think that is one side of my game that I can improve on.
Thanks, Kaveh. We'll now go to a question from Zoom with James Savundra from TalkSport.
Hi, Jack. Can you remember your first England tournament growing up, and did you have a particular hero at that stage?
I remember Euro 2004 when obviously Rooney burst onto the scene. I think he was maybe 18 at the time. I actually retweeted something on Twitter the week ago about his highlights from that tournament. That's one that obviously sticks in the memory. And I think you grow up thinking about these things and dreaming of them. So it's obviously a pleasure for me to be here now.
There's some incredibly talented players in forward areas, as you've spoken about before. What do you feel that you offer that's unique? What can you offer that other players don't offer in that forward area?
Not too sure actually. You said it at the start there that the talent in those attacking areas is up there with the best in the world. There's Raheem, Marcus, Phil, Jayden, Bakayo. There's so much talent. And then more in the central of the pitch is obviously Mason. But we embrace it. We enjoy playing with each other. We enjoy training with each other, and it's not really a battle. We're all in this together, and we're all here for the same thing.
Thanks, James. Now we'll go to Kerry Brown in the room from BeanymanSports.
Jack, Paul Gascoigne has been talking about you in an interview with Jamie Redknapp in the Daily Mail, and said he's good, but I want him to pull his socks up and look like a proper footballer.
I've seen that actually. I seen it last night. It made me happy actually that Gaz, likes me as a player. I think every English person absolutely adores him. He was unbelievable. Obviously when he burst onto the scene at Italian United, that was a bit before my time. But I've grew up watching highlights and stuff. And if I could get any performances as close to as what he did, then I'd be over the moon.
We were speaking to Phil yesterday. He said he's happy to be the Stockport Gazza. What will Solihull think about this?
I think he's got more of a chance now, Phil, because he's got the hair as well. But I think people say that because of the type of players that we are. We like to, especially Phil. He's an unbelievably talented player and a player that just loves football. Trying to get him off the training pitch after for the coaches is hard work for them. But I think that it's just because of the way we like to handle the ball. We take it in any sort of situation, and I think that's probably why the comparisons are there. But I think we both know that we both still have a long way to go to get anywhere near him.
We have got a really exciting crop of young players. Watching everyone out in training, you among them, massive smiles on your faces. There used to be a suggestion that to fit into an England squad, you had to be very regimented, quite a quiet personality, just get the job done. How much fun is it in this squad? How much are you feeling a real part of it? And how much are you all allowed to express your individual personalities?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love coming away. I've heard people say before, years and years ago, that they didn't really enjoy coming. I've heard people backing out of squads, but I feel like that is a bit down to the manager, and he deserves credit for that, because he's got us here, and we're all like a group of mates, just playing together. We love coming away, love training together, and I think that works. As soon as you go onto the pitch. But yeah, I just think you got to come here, enjoy yourself, express yourself, and I think your performances will show.
You've played in this number 10 role in the last 2 matches. Gareth seems to be able to have so many different situations and so many formations. How many different formations have you set up in? And when you play against each other, as in a squad in 2 teams, is there any difference in strength?
No, not really, because like I said, there's so much talent. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the tactics, because I don't think the manager would be too happy. But there's just so much strength all around the squad. And it's a pleasure, for me to come here and play and train with these guys. You come here and you play with the likes of Harry Kane, who's just had one of the best seasons I think ever as a Premier League footballer. I don't know how he didn't get more awards than he did, with the most assists, most goals. So it's just a pleasure for me to come here and play with these type of players.
Thanks, Kerry. We'll go back to Zoom with one from Mark Manbryans from Press Association.
Hi, Jack. This will be your first senior tournament with England, and this is a squad with a little less experience than in recent tournaments. Would that be a benefit this time around? And I was just wondering if you'd spoken to John Terry about playing in tournaments and representing your country on such a big level.
I think it could definitely help, because I think we still have the experience there. There's so much experience in the side at the moment that was in Russia, in 2018. You have Stonesy, Harry Maguire, Hendo, H up top, Raheem. So there's still, you have all that experience, and then you have a blend of, all the youngsters coming through. Jude, Bakayo, and I think we have a young squad actually. I did read something saying that we're one of the youngest in the tournament, if not the youngest, and I think that can help us. Like I said, we have a bit of both, so fingers crossed it does.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go back to the room with Steve Scott from ITV.
Jack, you touched on it already, but I wonder, do you ever get fed up with the amount of times you're fouled? And does it take a lot of self-discipline from you not to either retaliate or make sure it doesn't impact on your game?
No, I don't really get fed up with it. Sometimes obviously you have certain tackles that hurt. But no, I don't really get fed up with it at all. Like I says earlier, if I'm doing something positive, for my team, then obviously it's a good thing for me. It's probably not so good getting fouled as much at Villa because I said in the interview the other day, we probably don't have the quality of set piece takers at Villa that we do here. So like I said, if I'm doing something for the team, then I'm happy.
They'll be listening to that at Villa,
I know, I'll probably have a few messages on my WhatsApp after.
On that, what do you think you've learned as a captain? It's changed you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's changed me on and off the pitch. I think that was always going to come. I was always going to grow up a bit more at some stage, mature a bit more. But I think the main thing, is being here for this season. You come here and you see the likes of Jordan Henderson and Harry Kane, and what they do off the field. Obviously, what they do on it, we can all see that. But what they do on the training pitch and around the place, and how they look after themselves, and you sit there and you think, no, it's no wonder why they have, why they've had the careers that they have had. And that's, I think, one of the main things that has made me mature as a player, as a person, and as a captain.
Is there anyone in particular who's been a great influence through this period on you, another player, either play with or played against?
I'll probably say Harry Kane. I speak to him. I speak to him a lot, but I speak to everyone. In the changing room. I think it's good to when you do come away with England, to get different opinions off people, see what certain people do, what certain people don't do. But when you come away here, there's no better person to look at than Harry Kane. To see the way he looks after himself and stuff like that. And like I said to you, there's no for me, it's no reason why he's at the top of his game. And like I said, I think he's had one of the best Premier League seasons I've ever seen, but he's right up there, and I'm surprised he hasn't won a few more awards.
Thanks, Steve. We'll go back briefly onto Zoom with a question from Antonello Guerrera from La Republic.
Hello, Jack. Thanks very much. I work for an Italian paper, and in Italy you have been compared to Francesco Totti because of your style, because of your quality, and also I retrieved a 2014 tweet of yours saying there are so many Francesco Totti in London. I don't know which was the reason for that, but I wanted to ask you, what did Totti mean for you, if meant something? Did you get any inspiration from his class, and what is the most remarkable quality that you maybe share? Thank you.
He was obviously an unbelievable player. A player that stayed at his club, throughout his whole career. He showed great loyalty there. But he was an unbelievable player for club and for country. I'm not too sure. I'd probably have to ask you what you think. The same qualities that we do share. But he was one player that I grew up watching, and that I certainly looked up to.
Thank you, Antonello. We'll go back in the room with Nat Perks from BBC.
Hiya. Yesterday we were hearing from Luke who was one of the only 3 survivors from the Brazil squad back in 2014, and he was saying at that point he didn't really appreciate it. It's almost like you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Are you old enough, wise enough now to cherish every moment of this?
Oh, definitely, yeah. This is what I've wanted, my whole life, especially this season. I've said it in so many interviews that this is what I wanted. Obviously, I wanted to have a good season at Villa, but my number one main thing was to try and break my way into this squad. And obviously, I had my debut at the start of the season in September, and now to be in here now, it's a dream come true, and I'm going to cherish every moment, like you said, because that's what you grow up doing, and obviously I remember watching Russia in 2018, and I've said a few times, it was crazy how like football just brought like the whole nation together. I had so many, even like my nan, who never watches football, was watching every single game. She was loving it. And I think that's down, to the staff here. Credit to them and credit to the players for doing that. So that's another reason why I was desperate to be a part of it.
How are your family gonna feel and act if hopefully they see you going out at Euros with England and being on that pitch and giving it your all?
Yeah, no, it'd be unbelievable. My family are so excited already. It will obviously be a great feeling, for them to watch me at a major tournament. Hopefully, I do get on the pitch and be able to express myself at some point and make them proud.
We've talked a lot as the media extensively in the past about boredom at camps. Russia seemed to be a real turning point with the players. We saw a lot of social media of how much fun you were having. What kind of setup have you got here? Is there anything you can give us an insight into what you're doing behind the scenes?
Oh, it's unbelievable. There's everything in there. There's so much stuff. They've done a great job, to be fair. I think they tried to make it like as homely as possible. There was so many nice touches, that they've done. Like, I just went into my room just thinking it was just going to be a normal room, but then there was like all photos of my family around the room. There was one actually of my dog in there as well, which made me happy. But yeah, no, there's everything in there. I don't think you actually could get bored in there, and I think that's an important thing. Off the pitch, you need to be enjoying yourself, but then you need to know obviously when there's rest time as well, and I think we obviously know that within ourselves.
And just finally, a really intellectual question from me. Online searches for bleach have gone up by 285% apparently since Phil dyed his hair. Any feelings you might follow suit? You could go full Romania 98 and all of you dye your hair blonde maybe?
No, do you know what? I had some blonde in my hair last year actually. My mum didn't like it though. So no, I'll probably just stick to this for now.
Okay, thanks, Nat. We'll go back to Zoom with Jack Pitbrook from The Athletic.
Hi, Jack. We hear quite a lot about Gareth Southgate as a man, but what can you tell us about Gareth Southgate as a coach and anything he might have improved or picked out in your game?
Yeah, no, he's the manager of England, so he's obviously gonna be a brilliant coach. He's helped my game massively. That's one thing at the start of the season, like I said before. When I said to him, what can I improve on? And it was, obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail as what we spoke about, but he gave me not a lot, but a few things, to work on to try and force my way into the team. And I think it's worked because obviously I've had 7 games since now. But no, he's obviously a great coach. He gets on with all the boys, speaks to us around the camp. And yeah, like I said, he wouldn't be England manager, if he weren't a good coach.
Thanks, Jack. And we'll finish in the room with James Ollie from ESPN.
Hi, Jack. You mentioned watching the last World Cup. What were your memories specifically of the Croatia game? And do you think the players can use that as an inspiration this time around for Sunday?
Yeah, I was devastated actually. Obviously watching the game. But yeah, no, I think we can definitely use it as inspiration. I think Croatia are obviously a brilliant side. They have talented players, all over the pitch from big clubs as well. But yeah, it's a game that obviously we'll go into full of confidence. I feel like we've had good preparation. We'll obviously have a good week this week as well now. But like I says, yeah, we've obviously played them a few times now, and we obviously know it's going to be a difficult game, but something that we're obviously looking forward to, and we'll probably cherish every moment.
And also, a few years ago, you took some criticism when you turned down the chance to play for Ireland. I just wondered whether being here now and being part of this squad and the setup, whether you feel that was sort of worthwhile.
Yeah, when I was young, I was I 15, I think. I got asked to play for England and Ireland at a tournament. I got asked to play for both, and then I went away with England, and I was in my room and I collapsed the day before we was meant to be training, and I got sent home. And then during that time, I went to Ireland to trial there, and I played, and I just loved it. And that's one thing that I've always says. When you're younger, you just do what makes you happy, and I loved every obviously moment that I had there. Was just a young kid enjoying my football, and then as I got older, I started playing obviously at Villa. In the first team, I broke through, and there was a time where I thought, obviously I'm English. My parents were born in England. I was obviously born in England, so I feel English. And obviously, yeah, I've obviously changed to England, and since then, I've never looked back. I've enjoyed every moment that I've had here, and I wouldn't be here today, would I now, if I didn't?
When you say you collapsed, do you know what happened? That must have been a scary experience for you.
I don't even know, I was just in the bathroom and I just woke up on the floor. So I don't actually know what happened. I don't know if it was nerves or whatever. I'm not actually too sure. But the next day I was obviously fine, ready to go and train. But obviously for medical reasons I couldn't.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.